I got into surfing as a very young boy, probably around the time I started at school. My father had surfed in Hawaii on big balsa wood boards, and he found what was called then a surf plane, which was a plywood thin piece of plank that used to take out into the surf and paddle onto waves, but it wouldn't float. So he came back a couple of years later with a paddle board for me so I could lie on it, and he wouldn't buy me a paddle so I could learn to lie on my tummy and paddle. So by the age of 10 I could paddle into waves on a paddle board. And from there he bought me a Malibu when I was a very young teenager, and it cost $50 I think for this Malibu, and it was a 10-foot George Rice board. And I met a friend, Tony was his name, and the two of us used to wait till the storms hit Port Phillip Bay, and we used to take the Mals that we had out to Brighton Beach and surf off the Brighton Beach baths, and we used to go to Abbott Street Beach. Then we used to do adventures down to Torquay with his dad and Ocean Grove, and from there it was just a love that we grew from surfing.
So it started when I was about in year 6. There was a garage sale down the road from my house, and there was a board for sale, and I ended up picking it up for $2. So that's where I first started. I started surfing at Point Leo on some smaller waves, and then eventually I stepped it up a bit. Probably 2 years after I first bought the board, started surfing around Pacific Palms and the New South Wales region, and that's where I kind of really got into the sport.
Surfing's a great part of my life because it has been my life for years and years. It plants me in the planet, it makes me feel part of the earth. There's nothing better than, say, when I've been travelling to surf with dolphins in Indonesia, surfing with turtles that come under the board, flinders surfing with seals, just to be part of nature. I've had bronze whalers come up and surf with me in South Australia. So it just equates me with the planet, with the world, and you just feel so much a part of the universe. With our surf trips at night, just being part of the stars. At one stage in New South Wales, I was sitting on a beach and I didn't know whether I was in the sky or on the sand, because the light just merged together.
Yeah, so it allows me to escape everyday life and the hustle and bustle of school, work, things like that. Some people get really caught up in what they're doing at school and what they're doing at work, and surfing really allows me to escape that everyday life kind of feeling and get out and be at one with nature, really.
The trouble is these days I don't get the time to go surfing. I really try. The only times I get are the holidays or 1 day a week, but that's the rarity. In the old days I make sacrifices to get the time. I've had several years off where I've surfed a lot of that year, and that is a sacrifice. But every holiday, every time I'm out of work, there's only one thing to do, and that's go surfing. Clears the head, clears the brain, just realigns yourself with the planet, and all is good.
Yeah, so in my opinion, there's always time for surfing. It's more so when you get the time to do other things like schoolwork, work, things along those lines.
In my life I've travelled everywhere. There's no length that I wouldn't go to surf. As a young fella we surfed Indonesia, we took trips through jungles to get to remote surf breaks, we took fishing boats, anything to surf the coast of Indonesia. We've surfed the coast of Mexico, Tonga, top end of the Western Australia, South Australia, New South Wales, Queensland. Wherever there's a wave, wherever you hear that there's a secret spot that just compels you to this sense of adventure within you. You get this sense of adventure, it's exploring. Let's go and explore, let's find somewhere new. And I just love that exploring, that sense of discovery, to find a new place where there's no one else surfing. That's what I love. And that's part of the attraction of surfing, is to explore and go on adventures where no one's been before.
I guess however far it takes. I don't mind travelling the world if it means good surf. So yeah, whatever it takes really. My inspiration to start surfing, well, I guess it all started when I was probably in about grade 5 or 6, and just visiting the local breaks in the peninsula such as Point Leo, Gunnamatta, Portsea, so and so. Just going down and watching people surf really inspired me, until finally I actually got out into the ocean when a family friend, Roger Fisher, gave our family a call and said, "Oh, do you guys want to come down to the beach, have a surf? It's looking like a bit of fun." And I remember getting down there and just catching a wave, just a tiny wave about ankle high, and just felt like it lasted for an eternity, and it felt like it was a huge wave as well, when in reality it was probably ankle high. And that's what really got me into it, just the adrenaline rush and the enjoyment surfing a wave provides. It really is a natural high, and yeah, it's something I want to continue doing, hopefully for the rest of my life, or as long as I can. So Roger, I have to ask, where are your secret surf spots?
Oh, I've got some really good secret spots. They are...
We are terribly sorry. We are currently experiencing some technical difficulties. Could you please wait whilst these are resolved? Whilst you're waiting, you may wish to avail yourself of the many facilities in our foyer.
But it's secret and not many people surf it.